Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that in 100 years, most people sitting here today will be forgotten? Names erased from memory stumps untold and dreams buried with the years. Harsh, isn't it? But here's the truth, you have the power to change that. In this life, you are presented with two choices every single day: to be phenomenal or to be forgotten. There's no middle ground. Ordinarity doesn't leave a legacy. Mediocrity doesn't inspire change. Tonight, I want to take you on a journey that will show you why being phenomenal is not just a goal, but a duty. We'll uncover the secrets of those who've defied the odds, rewritten their stories, and left their marks on the world forever. I promise you, by the end of this speech, you won't just feel inspired, you'll feel unstoppable. So lean in, pay attention, and let's rewrite your destiny together. Life is a tapestry of choices, each thread woven by decisions we make every day. Among these choices, one stands above all. Will you settle for the ordinary, or will you strive to be extraordinary? This choice defines your legacy, not just how you are remembered, but whether you are remembered at all. Being phenomenal isn't about being perfect or always succeeding. It's about committing to a vision of yourself that refuses to be constrained by fear, doubt, or the limits others place upon you. Ordinary people accept what life gives them. Phenomenal individuals demand more. They recognize that every challenge is an opportunity, every failure is a lesson, and every success is a stepping stone to something greater. We live in a world where mediocrity often feels comfortable. It whispers to us, you're doing enough. Don't push harder. Don't risk failure. But what does enough really mean? It's a trap, a ceiling that keeps us from reaching the sky. The phenomenal understand that comfort is the enemy of progress. They know that true fulfillment doesn't come from doing what is easy, but from pushing past what is hard. Choosing to be phenomenal means embracing the discomfort of growth. It's about showing up even when you don't feel ready. It's about putting in the hours when no one is watching and no applause awaits. It's waking up every morning with a fire in your heart and asking yourself, what can I do today that my future self will thank me for? The choice to be phenomenal is not a one-time decision, it's a series of daily actions. Each day is a new opportunity to rise above the ordinary, to contribute to be meaningful to the world, and to leave a mark that no one else can duplicate. It's a conscious rejection of the status quo and a declaration that you will not blend into the background of life. Being phenomenal isn't about being famous or achieving global recognition. It's about living in such a way that your impact ripples outward, touching lives and inspiring others to their own greatness. Whether you're a teacher, an artist, a parent, or a leader, your potential to be phenomenal is infinite. The question is, will you seize it? Every phenomenal person you admire faced this choice. They weren't born extraordinary. They became extraordinary through relentless determination and an unwavering refusal to settle. Their stories are proof that the path is hard but worth every step. If you choose the path of the extraordinary, you will not only create a life that feels alive, but you will also build a legacy that endures long after you're gone. Because the truth is, the world doesn't remember the ordinary, it remembers those who dare to be phenomenal. So, the next time you're crossroads, ask yourself this: when future generations look back, will they see a life that mattered? Will they see someone who refused to settle, who fought for greatness, who lived with purpose? The answer lies in the choice you make today: be phenomenal or be forgotten. We are born into a world full of boundaries, physical, emotional, and societal. Some limits are visible, like the lines on a map or the rules of a game, while others are invisible, etched deep into our minds by fears, doubts, and the expectations of others. Overcoming these limits is a hallmark of those who choose to be phenomenal. It's not about being fearless or invincible. It's about refusing to let limitations define you. Limits whisper to us in moments of weakness, you can't do that. You're not good enough. Why even try? These voices are familiar to all of us. They rise when the path becomes steep, when failure feels imminent, or when the approval of others seems out of reach. But here's the truth. Those whispers are lies. They're the echoes of conformity, the remnants of a world that tries to fit you into a box. Overcoming limits begins with recognizing that they are not walls, but hurdles meant to be cleared, not to stop you. Being phenomenal requires a mindset that views challenges not as threats, but as opportunities for growth. When you encounter a limit, it's easy to stop and accept it as the end of the road. The phenomenal don't stop, they question. They ask, what's on the other side of the obstacle? What can I learn from this moment? How can I grow stronger? Every limit becomes a stepping stone, every challenge a teacher. Overcoming limits is not a solitary journey. Often the people around us play a role in defining or challenging the boundaries we perceive. There will be those who encourage you, who see your potential and push you to go further. And then there will be those who doubt you, who try to anchor you in their version of what's possible. The phenomenal choose their circle wisely, surrounding themselves with voices that uplift, inspire, and challenge them to shatter limits. To overcome limits, you must embrace failure as a part of process. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a necessary step on the path to greatness. Every stumble, every misstep, every setback is a lesson waiting to be learned. The phenomenal understand that the only true failure is the failure to try. They fall, but they rise again, each time stronger, more determined, closer to their goals. It's not about being born with extraordinary abilities or having all the answers. Overcoming limits is about resilience, persistence, and the refusal to accept I can as the final word. It's about showing up every day, even when it feels impossible, and taking one more step forward. In the end, the limits we face are only as powerful as the belief we give them. They can either be the chains that hold us back or the challenges that propel us forward. The choice is ours. When you look back on your life, will you see someone who surrendered to limits or someone who broke through them? The phenomenal make their answer clear. They choose growth over fear, possibility over doubt, and freedom over constraint. Comfort is an alluring trap, always whispering to us that we deserve rest, that we should take it easy, and that life will be easier if we just stay in our cozy little bubble. But the reality is, comfort is the silent killer of progress. It promises peace, but it also keeps us in a state of stagnation, preventing us from realizing our full potential. The price of comfort is the price of mediocrity, and those who seek it will never experience the greatness they are capable of. Being phenomenal requires discomfort. It requires stepping out of your safe space and taking risks. Every time you challenge yourself, every time you push beyond your limits, you make the choice to be great. But this choice doesn't come without its price. To achieve something extraordinary, you must be willing to sacrifice the familiar for the unknown, the easy for the challenging, and the present comfort for the promise of future success. It is about being willing to endure hardship now to secure something greater later. The phenomenon of success doesn't happen within the confines of comfort. Think about the people who inspire you the most: leaders, innovators, athletes, artists. Their stories are filled with discomfort, failure, and risk-taking. These individuals didn't wait for the right moment or until things felt just right. They took chances when others were afraid, and they faced the unknown when others hesitated. Comfort, in essence, is a lie that keeps you from your destiny. It seduces you with the illusion that you can be content with what you have, that you don't need to push harder, do more, or strive for greater things. It tells you to relax when the world is calling you to rise. But in reality, the world doesn't remember the ones who stayed in their comfort zones. History remembers the ones who ventured into discomfort, took bold steps, and overcame the fears that comfort tried to hide. The price of comfort is a life lived without true achievement, without the sense of fulfillment that comes from striving for something bigger than yourself. When you are too comfortable, your growth slows. You stop seeing challenges as opportunities, and you start seeing them as threats. You become content with mediocrity, forgetting that greatness is never found in the comfort zone. To be phenomenal, you must embrace discomfort as a necessary companion. You have to be willing to take risks that others shy away from. You must look at the unknown and say, this is where I will grow, this is where I will stretch myself, and this is where I will break through. It's about knowing that no victory is achieved without sacrifice, and no dream is realized without effort. So, ask yourself, what is the price of comfort to you? Is it the mediocrity of a life without purpose, or is it the extraordinary life you were meant to live? The phenomenal reject the easy road because they know the real price of comfort is far too high. They choose growth, they choose discomfort, and in doing so, they choose greatness. The question is, will you? In a world that often celebrates raw talent, we are led to believe that natural ability is the key to success. We see people who seem to excel effortlessly, and it's easy to think that they are somehow special, that they were born with gifts we could never possess. But the truth is, persistence far outweighs talent when it comes to achieving greatness. Talent may open the door, but persistence is the key that keeps it open. Talent is undoubtedly valuable, but it's not a guarantee of success. Many talented individuals falter because they are unwilling to put in the consistent, unglamorous work that success demands. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not necessarily the ones who started with the most talent, but rather the ones who decided early on that they were willing to do whatever it took. They understood that perseverance, the ability to keep going in the face of adversity, doubt, and failure, is what truly determines who rises and who falls. When we talk about persistence, it's important to understand that it's not just about sheer endurance or stubbornness. It's about a mindset that refuses to accept failure as the end of the road. The phenomenal know that every setback is simply a lesson to learn from. They don't shy away from challenges, they lean into them. They look at obstacles not as signs to quit, but as chances to refine their craft, sharpen their skills, and grow stronger. It's in those moments of difficulty where true growth happens. The journey to greatness is rarely linear. Success is often built on years of hard work, countless failures, and small victories that accumulate over time. You can have all the talent in the world, but without persistence, you may never get the chance to see your potential fully realized. Talent can make things easier, but it's persistence that turns a dream into reality. The world is full of talented individuals who never made it because they gave up when the going got tough. The people who last, the ones who break through, are the ones who refuse to quit, no matter how many times they fall. Think of the most successful people you admire. Chances are their story is not one of effortless success, but one of continuous effort, even when success seemed out of reach. Michael Jordan, often hailed as the greatest basketball player of all time, didn't make his high school basketball team on his first try. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed thousands of times before finding success. Each of them could have given up, but they didn't. They kept pushing forward, and that persistence led them to greatness. Talent may have sparked their journey, but it was their relentless determination that took them to the highest peaks. It's easy to become disheartened when you see others seemingly breeze through life with their natural abilities. But here's the secret: your persistence is far more powerful than anyone's talent. If you're willing to work hard every single day to fail, learn, and keep pushing forward, you'll eventually outpace anyone relying solely on their natural gifts. The path to greatness isn't about being the most talented person in the room. It's about being the one who never gives up, no matter how hard the climb gets. When the road gets tough, remember this: talent may open doors, but persistence will carry you through every single one of them. It's easy to talk about dreams, goals, and aspirations. Words come easily, and it's simple to share your vision with others, to make plans and promises. But what separates the dreamers from the doers is the one thing that can never be: faked action. Dreams without action are nothing more than wishful thinking, and aspirations without effort are just empty words. To be phenomenal, you must move beyond words and make your vision a reality through consistent, deliberate action. Talk is cheap, but action is priceless. It's the work you put in when no one is watching, the effort you make when the excitement of the idea has faded, and the sacrifices you're willing to endure when the initial enthusiasm wears off. The truth is, success isn't built on the things you say, it's built on what you do. People who achieve extraordinary things aren't necessarily the ones who won't talk the most or have the best ideas, the ones who roll up their sleeves and do the work day in and day out. Dreams are important, they serve as a vision for what's possible, but they are only the beginning. Without action, those dreams remain fantasies. You can plan and strategize until the end of time, but none of that matters unless you're willing to take the first step, then the next one, and the one after that. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of dreaming big, to see the finish line in your mind and get lost in the idea of success. But the real challenge is in staying committed to the process, to showing up each day no matter how tough things get. That's where the magic happens. Inaction breeds regret. How many people do you know who talk about their dreams but never take any real steps toward achieving them? Maybe you've even found yourself in this position. It's easy to convince yourself that you're still thinking things through, or that the timing isn't right. But time doesn't wait for anyone, and dreams are often lost to procrastination and fear. The phenomenal are the ones who take imperfect action, who are willing to start before they have all the answers, knowing that the process of doing will teach them what they need to know. Action is also the great equalizer. You may not have the most resources, the best connections, or the most talent, but if you're willing to work harder than anyone else to keep moving forward, when others stop, you will outpace them. The road to greatness is paved with countless small, consistent actions, and each step builds upon the last. Over time, these actions compound into something far greater than the sum of their parts. The world rewards action. Whether you're building a business, creating art, or working on personal development, the act of doing is what brings your dreams to life. Words might inspire others, but it's your actions that inspire change. Every decision you make, every effort you put in is a reflection of your commitment to your goals. And when the world sees that commitment, it recognizes it. People who are truly phenomenal are the ones who are so consumed by their vision that they let their actions do the talking. So if you want to be remembered, if you want to create a life that matters, then it's time to stop talking and start doing. Don't just tell the world what you're going to do. Show them. The difference between those who make a lasting impact and those who simply talk about it is action. It's the quiet, steady work that no one sees, but that ultimately creates the change you want to see in the world. The phenomenal don't wait for permission. They don't hesitate, and they don't sit around dreaming. They take action, and it's through their actions that their legacy is made. In a world that often prioritizes fame, recognition, and the fleeting rewards of success, it's easy to get caught up in the idea that greatness is defined by the amount of time you spend in the spotlight or the accolades you receive. But the real measure of greatness is not how long you live or how many people know your name. It's the impact you make during the time you have. Being phenomenal is about the difference you make in the lives of others, the lasting influence you leave behind, and the legacy that endures long after you're gone. True greatness is built on a foundation of meaningful contributions. It's about the ripple effect you create by taking purposeful action, inspiring others, and planting seeds that will grow for generations to come. Whether you're leading a company, raising a family, teaching a class, or creating art, the significance of your work is not measured by its immediate recognition, but by the long-term effect it has on the world around you. People who are truly phenomenal understand that it's the impact, not the spotlight, that defines their journey. One of the most powerful aspects of impact is that it's often subtle and gradual. It doesn't always look dramatic, nor does it always happen in a single moment. Instead, it accumulates over time in the small, seemingly insignificant acts that create change. A teacher who inspires a student, a mentor who guides a prodigy, a leader who fosters a culture of growth. These individuals may never make headlines, but their influence spreads far beyond their immediate circle. The true measure of their success is seen in the lives they touched, the values they instilled, and the change they created. The difference between those who are remembered and those who are forgotten is often not talent or ambition, but the commitment to making an impact. While the world may celebrate achievements in the short term, it's the long-term effect of those achievements that carries the most weight. Impact doesn't fade with time, it endures. The phenomenal know that their actions today will affect tomorrow, and they act accordingly. They don't focus solely on the applause or the accolades, they focus on the meaningful work that will stand the test of time. Your time on this earth is limited, and it's easy to get caught up in the rush of achieving more, gaining more, being more. But the true question isn't how much you accumulate or how much recognition you gain. The real question is, what are you doing with the time you have? Are you making a difference that will ripple through the years, touching people you may never meet, shaping future may never see? The impact you create is a reflection of the heart you put into your work. It's about choosing to be present, to be engaged, and to be intentional with your time and energy. Each day you have the opportunity to leave a mark, to influence the lives around you, and to build something that outlasts your own lifetime. The phenomenal are not concerned with the passing fame or short-lived glory. They are focused on creating a lasting impact that will continue to inspire, influence, and transform long after they're gone. Remember, greatness is not defined by how long you live, but by what you leave behind. Your legacy will be shaped not by the moments you spend in the spotlight, but by the change you created and the lives you touch. To be phenomenal is to know that your actions today will echo for years to come, and it's that impact, not the passage of time, that will ensure you're never forgotten.